viewers, Kryten Prime here again, the Gentleman Autobot, coming at you from Kryten TV on Icon. Welcome to my next overview for Beast Wars Transformers. For this episode, Cheetor the Werecat strikes back in Feral Scream Part 2. Yeah, so there's not much to talk about this one, compared to the previous one, but I guess I could point out a couple of little Easter eggs right at the beginning, when Cheetor's in his quarters, still damaged. Not wanting to be repaired for some reason. In his room, in his quarters, there's a few little Easter eggs. There's like a little toy model of the Axelon, still in one piece, and a sort of there's two photos. One obviously of Black Arachnia, because he admires it. But there's also a photo of both him and Optimus in the old days of the Beast Wars and their earlier forms. Yeah, from the first series, I should have said, just hanging out, just hi. It's pretty adorable. And there's also this clock with planets, which resembles that one that Megatron had for that cowboy duel in Coming of the Fusibles Part 1. Anyway, so that's going on, and Cheetor's having nightmares about being morphed by the CR chamber into this hideous creature, and he changes back. He then changes into this well, I like to refer to as the Werecat again, and escapes, and Rattrap thinks that it killed Cheetor. So, but Megatron's tracing it, and he knows that it's Cheetor. It's a Transmetal 2. The meddling feline got himself an upgrade, much needed, if you ask me. It's quite the upgrade too. I mean, sure, he doesn't fly anymore, but he can do super speed with a rocket on his back. It's pretty awesome. Even though he doesn't really look much like a cheetah anymore. It looks more like a panther, if anything, with just yellow highlights. Still cool, though. Of course, another thing to point out is this Transmetal 2 Cheetor, in his beast mode, at least, or also in his robot mode, has his spark chamber in his left thigh. I know that's what the toy looks like, but in the case of the spark crystal, in the case of the toy, but the way it translates into the cartoon is a bit ridiculous, because why is his heart in his leg? Anyway, using green energy, he manages to self-repair himself, and goes back into his Transmetal form for some reason. I don't know why, just because we're going to see that for the last time, obviously. But of course, meanwhile, Black Arachnia's seemingly showing concern as they're doing a search party, to which Silverbot's a bit suspicious. Her concern does her credit, as she's looking for the tabby. And meanwhile, there's this one little moment I like when Optimus is, well, aggressively trying to pry information out of threatening Depth Charge about the situation earlier. You know, Depth Charge is refusing to vote, but then Optimus is being aggressive, threatening to pry the information out of him. But Depth Charge cooperates with it cooperates then, just because Optimus asks so nicely, and he's explained the situation. But yeah, Depth Charge isn't lying when he said he destroyed the Transmetal driver, but he didn't know that Black Arachnia stole it. Anyway, yeah, that's all going on. Of course, Dinobot and Waspinator are sent to retrieve this Transmetal 2 tabby, and Waspinator is being a bit of a nuisance as always, as Dinobot shows his affections by slicing Waspinator up into ribbons, with only his head remaining. It's a bit of a double act between two characters voiced by Scott McNeil as well. Yeah, who's also Rattrap and Silverbolt. But here it's Scott McNeil versus himself, as he sort of sliced himself to bits. That sounded fine in my head. Anyway, of course, back at base, Cheetor's back, and he's making claims that he took care of the creature himself. But of course, how does that explain self-repairing himself? He can't possibly have done that without the CR chamber, of course. And of course, Optimus is going with Cheetor to examine the creature's remains, having his suspicions. As we once again sees gorilla mode, a couple of shoulders out a bit. A couple of cute moments as he scratching his armpit and then reaching for a bunch of bananas. Oh, he's adorable in this gorilla mode. Anyway, yeah, he's trying to get the truth out of Cheetor because he cares. But then Dinobot attacks and damages Optimus and coaxes Cheetor into transforming into his Transmetal 2 form, finally seen in his robot mode right here. And of course Waspinator is going in for the kill as well. Having bandaged himself up, you think, how could he have repaired himself? But then again, this is Waspinator. Yeah, but Cheetor deals with that by shooting him from behind. Of course, Cheetor starts going feral because his beast mode's still quite feral itself. Still unstable. But he manages to defeat Dinobot as he runs away. Oh, this isn't his day. Again, Dinobot's first day. Optimus, using his spark energy, manages to get Cheetor back and get him back into robot mode. But of course, Cheetor's now in his new form is showing a bit of a rebellious teen side to himself, as Rattrap describes it as cyber puberty. I kid you not, that's what he said. And of course, Black Arachnia's showing her interest back at base, even though she prefers Silverbolt, obviously. That's a cute couple. But then Cheetor's starting to like this new form, and whilst Black Arachnia likes the Transmetal Driver. I hope you enjoy this episode when you see it, fellow bots, if you haven't already. Coming next, Black Arachnia decides to desert the Maximals as she ends up in a hunt by the Transmetal 2 Dinobot in Proving Grounds.